previously on Feral vs. Animal Jam Part 2, which is linked in the description down below, as is Part 1. Feral and Animal Jam were both tied up at 4 points. And guys, just a disclaimer, if that did not make any sense to you, you have probably not watched parts 1 and 2. So part 1 is going to be the first link in the description down below, and it's going to be labeled as part 1, and part 2 is going to be the second link in the description down below, and it will also be labeled as part 2. So make sure you watch both of those before watching this, because this is part 3 of the series of videos I made on my channel called Feral vs. Animal Jam. So this will not make sense unless you watch parts 1 and 2, so make sure you take the time to do that. You can also find all of the parts of Feral vs. Animal Jam that are currently out right now in a playlist on my channel called Feral vs. Animal Jam All Parts. So without further ado, let's get right back into the video where both Feral and Animal Jam had 4 points. So hey guys, it's the cheetah that's also a raccoon here, aka Cheetah Raccoon here, and today we are just going to be doing the part 3 of Feral vs. Animal Jam, and I don't have anything to say, so let's just get straight into the video with our next category comparison. Alright guys, and we're moving on to lands. So there are actually several different lands in Feral. There's the Mugmire Marsh, the Blood Tundra, there is City Farah, the Sunken Thicket, the Lake Root Valley, the Expanse, the Shattered Bay, and in Animal Jam the lands are Jamaa Township, Belush, the Crystal Sands, and then there's a bunch of underwater lands that nobody ever goes inside of, and then there's Jamaa Township, of course, Coral Canyons, Kimbara Outback, Serapia Forest, Lost Temple of Zyos, and I'm sorry if I missed one, but that's all that I can think of at the moment. I'm not actually looking at my computer screen right now. I actually recorded this audio separately from the video. Insider's trick. But anyways, that is what this segment is going to be about. It's going to be about comparing the land/realms in Feral and Animal Jam. So both of the, all of the lands in Feral are extremely cool. I mean, a blood tundra, who thought of that? That is the best idea ever. I mean, I just walk around in Feral and I love it. I love every single aspect of the lands. Like, it's so beautiful, it's so strange. If you look up, sometimes there's random creepy creatures flying in the air, which is sick. I mean, this game is awesome, you guys. I love, the way they've just, designed this terrain. And in Animal Jam, of course, I love it even more. I mean, Belush is literally the best place ever. It's my favorite land. And if I go there, it's just so beautiful. Who came up with these graphics? Whoever did, congratulations to them. They deserve to, be king of the universe. But both of these are honestly equal. I mean, the Feral realms and the Animal Jam lands, they're equal, and I think that this is going to be a no-point round. Our next round is shopping. What I mean by shopping is we're comparing the Feral sanctuary and clothing shops versus the Animal Jam den and clothing shops. So, honestly, I've compared this for a while and I've thought over this, and shopping is essentially the same thing. You click whatever you want to buy, you hit buy, you see how it looks in your animal, something like that. But the only exception for this is how Feral has enigmas, which enigmas, once again, are things that you create by mixing the correct combination of sketches. That really frustrating thing I think talked about earlier. And in Feral, you can take those enigmas to shops and unlock really cool and exclusive rare items. So yeah, and there's honestly no difference between shopping either, so this is also going to be a no-point round. Sorry for the lack of excitement lately, but anyways, on to the next topic, which is mini-games. So what I mean by mini-games are the buddy games in Animal Jam, like the games you can play with the buddy, or the games that you can access by clicking the game icon at the top of your screen, like Best Dressed, Fast Foodies, all those games. And there's way more mini-games in Animal Jam. In Feral, I think there's about 3 or 4 as of right now, probably because the game is in beta stage once again. But there's way more mini games in Animal Jam. They're way more fun and easy to understand. I mean, I click on Best Dressed, I hit play. I love it. I understand it. It explains exactly what to do. I don't have to be a pro. I don't need to look up a YouTube video to figure out how to actually play the game. But in Feral, some of the games are so confusing, and I understand that this is aimed for like higher aged audiences, but I don't want them to make it so confusing that I don't understand what to click and what not to click and how to win. I mean, even in one of Wisteria Moon's videos, she literally admitted that she had no idea how to play that weird gambling coin game with that one queen lady or whatever. I mean, I honestly, these are just so confusing and hard, and I don't understand how to play them. I'm sure that if I understood them, I would be able to have some fun, but I can't even understand them. I'm probably going to have to look up a YouTube tutorial or something. But, yeah, so this once again, that lack of, you know, explanation and fun in the mini games of Feral is probably because it's in this beta stage, so Feral's kind of at a disadvantage here, but the point for the mini game section is gonna have to go to Animal Jam. Alright guys, so we are just going to add a point to Animal Jam for mini games. So Animal Jam's at 5 and Feral's at 4. Alright guys, on to trading. So Feral trading is kind of different from Animal Jam trading. So in Animal Jam, you click on someone's username, you click on the trade symbol on the left of their player card, and then you see their trade list. If they have nothing on their trade list, there's no possible way for you to trade them unless they trade you. But on Feral, even if someone has nothing on their trade list, you can still invite them to trade with you, which means like, but then they have to accept the request. Like so-and-so wants to trade with you. Like if I trade this random person, I go like, it's gonna come up on the screen saying cheetahracoon wants to trade with you, and then they can hit yes or no, even though they have absolutely nothing on their trade list. And then what opens up is a trade window where you're trading, and both of your trade lists are empty, and then you add whatever you want to add to your trade list, and then you go ahead and hit ready when you're ready. Like when you've added everything you're going to add to your trade list, you hit ready, and then once both players have hit ready, then it actually asks you, are you sure you want to accept this trade? Then you hit accept or decline, and then the trade is either complete or not complete. Another thing that's completely different from Animal Jam, which I think is extremely helpful, is whenever you're trading, it opens up a private trading chat where you can negotiate, whereas on Animal Jam, once you're like trade requesting someone, there's no way to talk to them while you're trade requesting them. Like otherwise you'd have to X out the trade request, and that was always kind of irritating to me. So this point is going to go to Feral also because you can just trade almost everything. You can trade sketches, enigmas, you know, clothing items and sanctuary items, whereas on Animal Jam, I mean, you can't like trade every single thing in the game. Like you can't trade a lot of things, but you can trade most things. So this point's just going to go to Feral because of the aspect of the private trading chat and the fact that you can actually trade someone even if they have nothing on their trade list. So yeah. Alright, so now one more point to Feral for the trading system, and so now they both have 5 points. Alright, on to NPCs, aka non-player characters. NPCs are basically any, like, character that you can interact with in the game that's not actually a person playing online behind the keyboard. Like, for example, when you go in an adventure in Animal Jam, Liza starts talking to you even though Liza is not an actual player in Animal Jam, she's an NPC. So that's what an NPC is. And there are lots of NPCs in Feral. If you just walk around in City Feral, you will see a lot of NPCs. And if you look at the map on the top right corner, any white dot on the map is NPC that you can converse with. And what's really cool in Feral is that you can actually choose your response to what the NPC says. Like, for example, if I'm talking to an NPC and when they finish speaking, I can reply to them in 2 or 3 or sometimes only 1 different way. It depends on who you're talking to. But it gives you many different options on how to react to what the NPC says, which is really cool, honestly. This aspect I've seen in many other games before, but never used in Animal Jam. So, and the other thing is that there are actually no NPCs in lands on Animal Jam. Like if you're walking around Jamaa Township, Liza's just not going to appear in front of you and start talking to you. You'd have to actually enter an adventure in order to converse with NPCs on Animal Jam. But on Feral, they're just kind of there, like you'll walk around and there'll still be NPCs in the land. You don't have to do a quest in order to talk to NPCs. So this one's going to have to do a point to feral. So point to feral for NPCs.
Alright, so point to feral for having better NPCs, aka non-player characters that you can actually speak back to in an answer of your choice, and also the fact that you don't have to enter an adventure or a quest to interact with them like you do in Animal Jam. So point to ferals. Now feral's 6 and Animal Jam is 5. Also, I already said this in parts 1 and 2, but credit to keepthescore.co for lending me their online scoreboard. So I hadn't said it in part 3, so I'm just saying it right now.
Alright, pets. There are no pets in Feral as of right now, and they could be added in the future, but I'm actually comparing the beta version of Feral to AJ Classic / Animal Jam. So, this one's still going to have to give a point to Animal Jam for having pets. I'm sure they're probably going to be added in the future in Feral. But as of right now, we're comparing the games as they are in their current state, so that point is going to have to go to Animal Jam.
Alright, so we're adding a point to Animal Jam for having pets, although I'm pretty sure they're eventually going to add pets to Feral, but I'm comparing Feral Beta to Animal Jam Classic, so I can't say it's a no point because currently Feral doesn't have pets. I don't know if they'll be added in the future, but currently Feral does not have pets, so the point is going to Animal Jam.
And on to Jamograms and Animal Jam versus private messaging in Feral. So here's the deal. Jamograms can actually be sent to a player even if they're offline, but in private messaging in Feral, there's no way to tell if someone private messaged you. Like, let's say I log off and I log on the next day and I realize that my friend Dragonborn333, like 3333, or I don't know what their username is exactly, which is bad of me. I am totally messing this up. But anyways, if I log off and then I log on the next day and let's say that Dragonborn sent me a private message while I was offline. As of right now, I do not think there is any way in which you could actually find out if they private messaged you while you're offline. Basically what I mean is that in Jamograms, you can send someone a Jamogram even if they're offline, and then that little 1 symbol will come up on their Jamogram icon in the left corner of their screen, so they'll know that they have a Jamogram in their inbox. Whereas on Feral, I don't think there's any way to know if someone actually private messaged you while you were offline. So that's a huge disadvantage because you can't actually talk to your buddy unless they're online, which is very, very irritating. And the other thing is that JAGs are much easier to read. It's kind of just like a huge square with some text underneath it. It's supposed to be like a postcard format, but they're just much easier to read. The text is bigger. You kind of have to squint at the screen to see the private messaging on Feral. And one more thing, Feral has no jammer walls, and as of what I know right now, I don't think there's any way to gift anyone through private messaging in Feral, whereas on Animal Jam, I'm pretty sure that you can gift, obviously you can gift people through Jamograms. The other thing, though, that Feral gets a point for is you can actually add emojis in private messaging, whereas on Jamograms you can't add any emojis. But overall, this is going to have to go to Animal Jam, so point to Animal Jam for Jamograms.
Alright, so we're going to just add a score to Animal Jam for Jamograms, which is better than the private messaging system in Feral.
Parties. So you probably all know what parties are in Animal Jam, and nothing like them exist in Feral yet. So that's also going to be a point to Animal Jam.
So we are going to add a point to Animal Jam for having parties. So now it's 9-6. Animal Jam is in the lead.
Actions. In Animal Jam, the actions are hop, sleep, jump, and sit, and you can choose which direction to sit in as well. In Feral, it's very different. There are many more than just 4 actions in Feral. I believe they're actually sit. I think there's an excited action, a happy action, a sad action, and of course, there's a jump action and a sleep action, and there's a bunch of other actions, and as you can see, including the sit action. But I don't think you can actually decide which direction to face when you're sitting in Feral. But obviously, there's way more actions in Feral than there are in Animal Jam. You can also use keyboard shortcuts, which I'm pretty sure you can also do in Animal Jam. But in Feral, if you want to sleep, for example, you would type / and then sleep into the chat, and that would make your animal do the sleep action. And in Animal Jam, I think it's something similar, like you do a colon and then write sit southwest or something, then your animal will sit facing southwest or something. So but obviously there's way more actions in Feral. I think I'm going to have to give that point to Feral.
Okay, so now we're going to add a point to Feral for the actions category.
On to monetization / membership stuff, which basically means how WildWorks is planning to make money off of the game. So obviously on Animal Jam, mostly they make money off of people buying memberships, but I'm pretty sure they also make money off of people buying like online packs of diamonds and gems. So that is how they make money off of Animal Jam. But in Feral, as of right now, there is no major restrictions if you do not pay. Like, you could be playing Feral for free and you still can do the same thing as anyone who is willing to pay for Feral. Whereas on Animal Jam, almost everything you click on is restricted when you're a non-member. Alright, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but most major features on Animal Jam are available to non-members, but quite a few features that are very, very important aspects of the game are restricted if you're a non-member, which is very annoying. And half of the time people just quit Animal Jam because they just can't get memberships anymore, and it's really, really taking away a lot of the game by being a non-member. So obviously they're being more strict with the monetization on Animal Jam than on Feral, and I'm pretty sure that this Royal Boutique thing up in the top of my screen has something to do with monetization. I'm not 100% sure, but there's no major restrictions in Feral. Everything that is restricted for money paying people only is mostly stuff that is related to clothing or customization of the creature, and honestly we already have so many customization options. I don't see any reason why I'd want to pay to get more. So this point is going to have to go to Feral because Feral is just so much easier to play without money.
Alright, so now we are going to be giving a point to Feral because it's just so much easier to play the game without money. There's no major restrictions if you are not willing to pay. And on Animal Jam, one of the most frustrating things about the entire game is just that there's so many restrictions if you're a non-member, and that is really not fair to the people who can't afford to pay for the game. But I understand that WildWorks has to make money off of the game, so that is all done and said. But because Feral is just way easier to play without money, we're going to give the point to Feral for monetization / membership. Alright, so you have officially watched till the end of part 3, and part 4 is probably only going to be around 5 to 10 minutes, so it's going to be extremely short, but there is going to be a part 4, so just make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified for when I post part 4. So please like the video, please comment down below, and give me any future video suggestions for videos that you'd like to see me make. I am going to be making a huge update video, even though the update happened way before. There's a lot of things that I want to cover on the update, and I'm probably going to be doing a tutorial video soon and a giveaway video, so just make sure you're subscribed so you can stay tuned for all of that and stay in on that. Once again, guys, don't forget to comment on the video, comment on my discussion page, and you can follow me on Instagram at cheetahracoonaj, and that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys are eager for part 4 to come out, and I will see you next time. So have fun, stay safe, and play wild.